It doesn't care if you can aim, build, craft, or run a spreadsheet of rations to outlive nuclear winners. No, this one just wants to know one thing. How many bad decisions have you made in your life? And what would happen if they all showed up at your door, alive, bitter, and demanding a job? It's not another apocalypse simulator. It's not a roguelike. It's not even a you're the chosen one power fantasy. In fact, it flips the script so hard, it actually makes you the boss, the problem, the therapist, and the HR department all at the same time. It is deeply weird, strangely emotional, and occasionally hilarious. And no, we're not naming it yet because the reveal hits harder when you realize what it's really about. Trust me, you'll want to watch this one through to the end because this title doesn't just give you choices. It holds a mirror up to them. You need to face yourself, man. It asks, what would happen if you had to live with 8 different versions of yourself, all of them twisted by what ifs, lost dreams, bad romances, and that one time you said no to karaoke and somehow doomed the multiverse? And it does this while trapping you on an alien planet where the sun literally tries to kill you. The clock is always ticking, and every room in your sci-fi base smells like burnout and microwave sadness. Piqued your interest yet? So, why are critics calling it one of the most original survival games in years? And is it a must-buy or a meltdown waiting to happen? Let's dive into it. So here's the setup. You're Jan Dolsky. You're not a soldier, you're not a scientist, and you damn sure aren't qualified to be the last hope of humanity. Sorry. You're a mining grunt who crash landed on a planet that hates the sun and hates you just as much. The only reason you're not space dust is because of Rapidium, basically the duct tape of the multiverse, right? It lets you spawn alternate versions of yourself, not clones, not NPCs, actual yous from alternate timelines. One who became a scientist, one who became a fitness freak, one who maybe made it through therapy, and one who definitely did not. Oh, hey. Oh, hi. Okay. These aren't silent lackeys or empty skill trees. These alters come with personalities, memories, grudges, opinions, and a ridiculous amount of emotional damage. They're not your tools, they're your coworkers, and they hate each other. And sometimes, they hate you more. The result? You're managing a rolling sci-fi unicycle fortress with 8 different yous inside, each with their own specialty, hangs up, trauma, and microwave meal preferences. One's allergic to eggs. Another refuses to speak unless it's to deliver an unsolicited TED Talk on why you're a failure. Time is your biggest enemy, not because the game's unfair, but because it's constantly slipping away. The sun here is unclear death ray that creeps up on your base like a stalker in a horror movie. You're not just managing tasks, you're playing musical chairs with life and death. Every mission has a deadline, every stop is temporary. Stay too long? It's game over via solar cremation. The gameplay loop is brutal, but brilliant. You gather resources, assign alters to jobs, keep your base moving, and try not to collapse under the weight of micromanaging a crew of existential breakdowns. One Alonso is enough. Every choice has a consequence. Build a workshop? That adds weight to your base. Need more fuel? Gotta mine deeper. But that means more time outside in the radioactive soup. Want better food? Okay. That means building a greenhouse, but you'll need space, which means moving modules around in your circular base, which is as fun as playing Tetris on a Rubik's Cube. And you can do it all. You cannot do it all by yourself. You'll try. Oh, you'll try. You'll sprint from room to room, fixing leaks, cooking gruel, upgrading systems, screaming internally until you realize this game wants you to delegate. But how do you delegate to yourself when none of yourselves trust each other? Could you do it? That's where the altar shines. It's not just survival, it's management. Not in the spreadsheet sense, in the emotional sense. It's psychological. You're constantly balancing productivity with mental health. Sometimes an altar won't work until they've had a deep personal conversation. Sometimes two of them are fighting because one reminded the other of a past decision you never made, but they did. Because they're you. They're you from a timeline where you did screw up. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you made it so big that you were jealous of you. It's genius. But it's also exhausting in the best possible way because everything matters. Every pylon you place, every schedule you build, every damn meal you prep, it all plays into this intricate system of trust, time, and barely suppressed identity crisis. Whew. I'm gonna need therapy. And that's just scratching the surface. The game doesn't just simulate survival, it simulates you surviving yourself. We're just getting to the emotional landmines, multiverse decisions, and why one of your alters might declare mutiny because you forgot to build a gym. Who does that? By now, you've realized this isn't just about managing resources, it's about managing relationships. And not the cutesy Stardew Valley kind. These relationships are with versions of you that you never asked to meet, and definitely don't want to live with. Imagine meeting with the darkest, weirdest parts of yourself in person. Each altar you spawn comes from a different timeline. A sliding door life moment where one bad date, one missed opportunity, one shift in mindset created a completely different version of Jan. And when they arrive, they don't show up as blank states. Ooh, they show up pissed off, burned out, or smug as heck. Sometimes all three. You've got ones that are emotionally fragile, ones that are dangerously confident, and one that walks around like he's already taken over the base. Maybe plans to. Okay, you might think, okay, I'll just treat them like NPCs. Assign the task, done. But no, they want to talk. They need to talk. They interrupt your already stretched out survival schedule to go full therapy mode, and if you don't handle it right, morale tanks, crew efficiency drops, shooting stars, and before long, one of them punching a wall while another one is sulking in the sleep pod. The social system here is deceptively deep. It's not BioWare style, pick the nice answer and everyone loves you. It's real conversations based on real branch and logic tied to who these people, these yous, are. You say the wrong thing to the wrong altar and suddenly that engineer you desperately needed to fix the solar panel doesn't want to leave his bunk. And guess what? That solar panel is how you stay alive when the sun hits. What are you gonna do? And they're not just emotional bombs, they're logistical ones too. These alters need food, sleep, privacy. They complain, they refuse tasks, they make requests. You'll be sprinting around trying to manage the power grid when one radios in, asking if you can build him a private room because he doesn't like bunking with Weird Jan. You check and Weird Jan is the botanist currently growing food for the entire crew. Oh, and let's not forget the base itself. A monowheel shaped nightmare of modular chaos. Expanding. It's a game of circular Tetris played with radioactive Legos. Imagine stepping on those. Want to build a medbay? Cool. Move 4 rooms, delete 2 others, and find space for the damn thing without crushing the mobility system. And just when you get it placed, a storm hits early and you've got to abandon the build midway. Now everyone's injured, one altar's having a breakdown, and the kitchen caught fire because no one refueled the energy cells. And through all of this, you still haven't explored because, yes, you still have to leave the base, venture out into a hazard-packed world, and find resources. For you, and you. But unlike your altars, who are locked into their assigned roles, you're the only one who can do this part. Grappling off cliff sides, dodging radiation storms, and mining alien veins while your stamina wheezes out like an asthmatic toaster. It's all on you. And don't get too comfortable with your timeline either. This game has a full-blown quantum decision map where you can see every major branch, every big decision, and where it splits. Want to bring in a better version of a specific altar? You'll have to go back to a timeline where a key decision was different, like saying yes to a different job or choosing a specific way to resolve a crisis. It's mind-bending. It's amazing. It's also a massive middle finger to anyone who thought this was gonna be chill base building. I mean, the damage. At its core, The Alters is a game about pressure, not just from the environment, but from your past, your regrets, your choices, and your worst instincts. And it dares to ask, can you really trust yourself? Any version of yourself? Could you? I don't think I could. We're not done yet. We're talking betrayal, burnout, and one sequence that left even us staring at the screen like, did that just happen? So here's where The Alters hits you the hardest. You're not just trying to survive the sun, you're trying to survive the story. And I mean that literally. See, this isn't just a gameplay loop. This is a pressure cooker narrative wrapped in quantum anxiety and served with a side of, why does this feel like therapy? Because it is. The further you get, the more the game starts introducing actual consequences for your emotional management. And if you're not ready, the whole thing spirals. You'll hit a point where your base is running. It's running fine. Resources are tight but stable. Your crew of broken mirror versions is semi-functional. You finally built the goddamn gym that Angry Jan kept passively aggressively mentioning in every meeting. And then, boom! An event fires. A specific altar triggers a moment, and just like that, your fragile piece shatters. One of the most brutal moments in this game doesn't involve the sun or a death storm. It involves two altars having a conversation with each other. And you're not involved. You're just standing there, watching, listening, as two versions of yourself argue about a life choice you never made. But one of them did. And one Jan accuses the other of being weak. The other calls him a coward. And somewhere in the middle, you realize you've had this argument with yourself in real life. It's haunting. It's psychologically, scaringly, in a genius way. Because that's what this game does. It stops being sci-fi and becomes self-fi. It puts your decisions, both mechanical and moral, under a microscope. Why did you bring in that version? Why didn't you talk to him more? Why did you assign him, or yourself, to work when he clearly, or you, needed a break? Why didn't you see those signs of yourself? And when someone snaps, because someone will snap, the fallout is massive. Maybe they refuse to work, maybe they destroy a module, maybe they lock themselves in a room and the entire crew's morale collapses because you didn't handle it better. And it's not just interpersonal drama. This is all layered on top of a brutal survival sim. The night cycles get shorter, the storms get worse, resources dry up, the map offers riskier paths with higher rewards, but the cost of screwing up gets steeper every single time. You send someone out without prepping enough, they don't come back. You miss a small mechanical warning, a fire breaks out and spreads. You assign tasks poorly because you didn't check morale levels. Suddenly, half of your team is idle and the other half is overworked and starving. And through all of it, the game asks one thing. How do you keep yourself together when you are literally falling apart in 8 different directions? There's no handbook for this. There's no optimal build. The entire experience is designed to feel like you're juggling flaming bowling pills while riding a bike made of guilt, and yet it's compelling as hell. Because every moment feels personal. When you succeed, it's not, I beat the system. It's, I pulled myself out of the hole. I dug it with my own hands, using other versions of myself to do it. When you fail, oh, it hurts. Not because of a lost resource of a respawn timer, but because you feel like you let yourself down in 8 different ways. You ignore warning signs, you didn't listen, you made the wrong call, and even though it's just a game, your brain whispers, the tracks. And that's the twist we've been building to. The alters doesn't just let you create alternate versions of yourself. It makes you live with them, work with them, fight with them, mourn them. Not with them. Maybe mourn with them as well. And maybe, just maybe, forgive them. Could you forgive yourself? To your face? We've got one more stop. We're revealing the moment that made us sit back, controller in hand, and whispered, damn. It changed how we looked at the entire game, and it might just do the same for you right now. There's a moment deep in the altars, past the tutorials, past the upgrades, past the I think I finally got a routine phase, I think I got this, where the game just stops being a game. It's not a cutscene, it's not a boss fight, it's not even that flashy. It's a quiet scene between 2 altars. A conversation that spirals into something raw, unscripted, human. One altar opens up about a choice he regrets, and not in a dramatic cinematic way, just regret, soft, exhausted, real. And the other one, a more hardened, cynical version of Jan, says nothing. He just stares and walks away. No music swell, no objective completed, just silence. And that's when it hits. This isn't a survival game. This is a forgiveness game. You're not just trying to outpace the sun. You're trying to make peace with parts of yourself you tried to ignore or destroy. Every altar you create is a memory you buried, a version of you that didn't get the chance to move on. And now here they are, in your base, sleeping in your bed, cooking your food, asking questions you don't want to answer. This is existential inventory management. And yeah, let's talk gameplay one more time. The mechanics hold up, the loop is tight, the logistics can be clunky, the UI is awkward in places, the map system fumbles the line between base view and world nav more than it should, and yeah, the lip syncing busted, like 2004 PS2 energy busted, but it doesn't matter. Because the emotional system hits harder, way harder than any bug can take away from. The altars deliver something most survival games are terrified of trying. And most people are trying to avoid. Empathy. We've all played the base builder. We've all done the grind, the upgrades, the keep your people alive dance. But how often do your NPCs come back at you with your own baggage? Your own baggage. How often does the healer in your squad makes you feel worse? Not because they underleveled, but because they remind you of who you could have been. The genius of the altars isn't the time loops or the tech trees. It's that it weaponizes identity. And in doing so, it makes every death, every mistake personal. So, after 25 hours, 8 altars, 14 accidental module fires, and 1 quiet breakdown in the kitchen next to Angry Jan's protein shake stash, where does that leave us? Do you buy it, wait for a sale, or skip it entirely? Let's be real. The altars is not for everyone. If you're here for fast-paced action, clean combat loops, or base building without emotional whiplash, hard pass, right? If you want a chill survival sim where the biggest drama is running out of potatoes, this game might and will devour your soul. But if you're looking for something different, something bold, flawed, weird as hell, and intensely human, and just optimistically risky, this is it. It's messy, it's clunky, it's brilliant. It's like a side of therapy with some irradiated alien soup. Verdict? from yours truly, if you're on a PC or Xbox and have Game Pass, hit that install button, dude. Easy. If not, still worth the buy. The emotional depth, the storytelling gambles, the haunting art direction. This is one of the most original titles of the year, if not the decade. It's not polished, but it's powerful. So if you've ever asked, what if I made a different choice? This game lets you answer it 8 times over. And maybe, just maybe, it helps you forgive the fact that you didn't. Before you go, smash that like button like it's the emergency power switch during a geomagnetic storm. It seriously helps us more than you think. And we want to hear from you. What would your altar be like? What would be the biggest mistake that you think you passed on? Which past version of yourself would you never want to live with? Oh, that's a tricky one. I wouldn't want to live with Hangry Alonso. Drop in the comments, let's get weird with it. And hey, we've got more deep dives, tech breakdowns, and indie curveballs coming soon. Subscribe to Level Up Gaming so you don't miss the next Multiverse Meltdown. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you know exactly when we're coming on. And before you bounce, click this next video right here. Because if you stop now, Jan's gonna wake up in the middle of the night, look at your YouTube history and whisper, "Seriously, you didn't finish it." Click it, dude, before the sun comes up. Just click. I'm playing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.